it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today, and I am thrilled that I have broken the 8,000 subscriber mark, so thank you very much for that. I will think up some way of celebrating that will involve you guys. So yeah, so my next goal of course is 9,000. Fingers crossed. So today's card is this one. It uses items from the Timeless Tropical Suite. I've got stamps, paper. This is not from the Timeless Tropical Suite. This is actually from a very useful stamp set in the mini catalogue. It's so inviting. It is perfect for anyone who has any invitations, so any events they've got coming up. It is absolutely the perfect stamp set. It is on page 19 of your mini catalogue. Just trying to open it up. So here we have it. It's get the Stamparatus, and it just makes everything so much easier. But you've got the most amazing font. You've got some RSVP space. So we've got date, time, place, RSVP, so you can put a date in there. You've got some just blank lines. You've got save the date, so the works. And obviously you can then just add in whatever it is that you are inviting them to. Don't think of it just being for what I would call grown-up events. This would be perfect for children as well, because you can have you're invited in handwriting, or you can use the font, and then you can make it look more childlike. So you could pair it up with my Bonanza Buddy favourites. In fact, I may possibly think about doing that. But it's inexpensive. It's only £15. If you have a big event coming up, get some of the get the stamp set, get your card and envelopes and all that good stuff, and make them yourself. Or now here's the thing, and I know a few demonstrators who have joined specifically for this. Join, and then you get even more for your money, and you can get lots of packs of paper if you want to use some of the paper, and of course you get £130 of product for just £99. And of course, if you join during celebration, you also get the mini cutter and the designer series paper sampler pack, and any stamp set of your choice that is not celebration or host set. So you could get this if you wanted it as your set. But this is the card we're making today. And I've deliberately gone pineapple because this is a card I will be sending to a cousin about twice removed, but yes, an older cousin of mine who is celebrating their 80th birthday and has invited my husband and I to go along. And they had a gold embossed pineapple on the invitation, so I thought I would do pineapples in return. And because we've got the pineapple paper, I can. So I've got So Saffron, I've got soft suede, I've got a piece of the pineapple paper, and it's the one on the reverse of the bright fruit paper in the Timeless Tropical set. I've got a Whisper White insert. I've got a scrap of So Saffron. You could possibly do the middle, but I wouldn't because it's only paper on top. I've got a little soft suede die cut, which is from the Stitched Rectangles, and it is this one that sits all on its own. So it's that die. And I've also got the die from the Timeless Tropical Bundle, because this is the Timeless Tropical Bundle, and it's the die that cuts out the pineapple stamp. I love this bundle. I really wasn't sure about a big pineapple, but I love it. So let me show you how to make it. It's not complicated. It doesn't take terribly long. It's just a little bit of heat embossing, so it depends whether you're a heat embossing fan, I suppose. So I'm just going to add some Embossing Buddy to my scrap of So Saffron paper. I've got my stamp already mounted up. Had a moment there where I couldn't find it, and I'm just going to add Versamark to my stamp. Gone a little over the top with the embossing buddy, stamp down, hold for a little while and remove, and then gold embossing powder, and I've gone gold because it's a gold pineapple on the invitation we were sent, so it seems sensible to do a gold invitation, or a gold reply rather. Brain dead. It's all the excitement of having hit my goal. So that's that. I'm going to leave that for a moment whilst I do the other stamping, because I need to emboss that as well. So let's just use the heat tool once. Do remember that while I'm doing all of this, you can of course subscribe if you don't already, and that will help me get to my next goal quickly. So this is a scrap, and I mean it's clearly a scrap. So embossing buddy again, I've got my thank you stamp mounted up, ink up in Versamark, and just, I could probably fit it in there, which would make more sense. Stamp it down, and this time I'm going to use white embossing powder. Now I am going to give it a really good press, because I know from doing the previous ones that it does like a really good press. Some people have asked me why I don't use the stamp pad, particularly with photopolymer stamps, and that is because this is, it's on a bungee surface anyway, and also I've got a whole pack of grid paper underneath, so it is already a little bit forgiving, but photopolymer does quite like the stamp pad, which is this. It's in the annual catalogue and it's really not expensive. So that is certainly, if you're a bit dubious about the surface that you are using, that would be a good investment. So let me get out my trusty cheese board and my heat tool. And as I say, now is a perfect time, while I'm making a noise, to subscribe, because as you know, I do not fast forward. You get to see everything that happens. So let's go and blast. And it's just going nicely now. And that's that one. And then the pineapple. There we go. Right, now the pineapple obviously will need to be die cut. So let me get my trusty Rascog. What did we do before a Rascog? And I'm just going to pop this through my die cutter, and then I shall be back and we can finish the card. Now, I had a very popular post on my last Top Tip Tuesday, which was all around heat embossing in colour. In any colour you wanted. If there is ever anything you would like me to do a Top Tip Tuesday on, please do ask. I am always very keen to have suggestions. So yes, please do. Now this piece of card happens to be folded that way. Generally for photography purposes I go long and thin, but I happen to have this as a spare piece of card anyway, so I thought I would use it. Right, okay. Let's add some adhesive to the back of my soft suede. And I'm actually going to add the adhesive to the card for the paper. I do sometimes find that if you add the adhesive to the paper that it buckles the paper a bit, but adding it to the card it's less likely to happen. So that is that. This then gets adhered on top. And I want this to be kind of even. I'm only going to do it by eye. Life is too short to get a ruler out for things like this. But having the liquid adhesive does make it a bit easier to get it in the right place. And then I just need some dimensionals, which of course are buried. When would I ever get them out in advance? Here we go. So just 2 dimensionals on the back of the pineapple. You could probably get away with 1, but as it's going through the post, 2 is my preferred number. And then just pop that in the middle of that square, and it's perfect for fitting. Now this I will fussy cut. So let me just start, but I'm not going to put you through the agony of me fussy cutting the whole thing. Just remember that we are going to move the card, not the scissors, and just keep going round. But here we are. Here's one I've prepared earlier in true Blue Peter fashion, which I know doesn't quite translate to the States, so apologies for that. Blue Peter is a children's programme that has been going in the UK for, I mean it really, decades. I mean it's forever. And they always used to have, and here's one I prepared earlier, as their sort of, you know, they'd make a project and they'd have prepared something in advance, so that we didn't have to sit through the agony of almost literally watching paint dry. So it became a bit of a thing. It's a bit of a Blue Peter special. Here's one I prepared earlier. So if you ever wonder what that's about, that is what it is. So I'm just going to have these little cut down pieces of dimensional, and actually I think a small dimensional might just about be all right there, and that I think will be sufficient. You can go too far with your dimensionals. So I'm going to have that sort of there. Actually I'm going to put the U down first. I'm going to reverse engineer this. So the U we're going to have kind of there, and then the thank can snuggle in on top, so it's like the K is almost but not quite joined onto the, take your piece of paper off the back of your dimensional. The K is almost but not quite joined onto the Y, and there we go. Oh, liner. Always add your liner. And again, I'm going to put the adhesive onto the card because, again, Whisper White card, it prefers to go onto glue rather than have glue put on it. And there we go. So, our 2 thank you cards. So, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. As ever, comments below. There's a link to the associated blog post below. If you're in the UK, I would be thrilled if you would choose to shop with me. Always thrilled when people try out my customer service. So why not give it a go? And if you want to join my team, remember you can do that if you're in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands. And it's just £99 for, oh gosh, at the moment, you can get over £150 worth of stuff easy for £99 with free postage. Yay! Thank you very much indeed for watching and for helping me get to 8,000 subscribers. And here's to the next milestone. Thanks a lot. Bye!